Morning everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday class. Well, it's getting on for the end of July, so believe it or not, this is going to be onto another meridian very soon. So I thought we'd finish off the bladder meridian. I've got a little bit of a treat for you. I've got hi Jane, hi James, Lynn, Mary, hi Kat. Thank you for looking after the chat. And Simonetta from Sardinia. But it's warm there, isn't it? Yeah, lovely to see you. Well, just before we start off, I promised a little while ago, I promised you a video about explaining why the bladder meridian runs down the back of the body. And I've got a 3-minute video for you, so I thought I'd just show you that, and then we can get straight on and do some work on our spine again. So I'm going to show you a 3-minute video explaining why the bladder meridian actually runs down the back, and I'm just going to get myself off the stage and I will show you the video. Here we go.
I work in emergency as a doctor. I also do acupuncture. Today I want to talk about the bladder channel. It's by far the most interesting channel in the body and also the weirdest. It goes down your back in 2 parallel lines and influences all the other organs. Osteopaths and chiropractors osteopaths especially, will often say that you can manipulate the back to help the rest of the body, the organs. And this is what the Chinese are saying as well. To understand how, you need to go back to about day 25. So that's not day 25 after you were born, day 25 after conception occurred. You look somewhat like this. So here is your eye, this is your umbilical cord, and you might have some little arms, little legs appearing. You've certainly got a tail. So not a person that anyone would really recognise. But at this point, you don't have kidneys. You have something called your mesonephric ducts. Now the name's not important, but what it does is very important, because your body at this point is effectively like a worm. It's got segments, and in each segment you have a tiny little kidney, and that tiny little kidney produces waste products from its segment, and these waste products, they have to go somewhere, and they go into a bladder, of course. And this bladder, which is called the mesonephric duct, it runs all the way down here either side of the midline to insert into what will become the trigone of the bladder in adult life. So this is a bladder. It's just a bladder that disappears when you're about 50 days old. If you did this in cross section, it would look like this. So here's your spine, here is your spinal column, and the little bladders would be there. And this is pretty much exactly where the Chinese say you get access to the bladder channel by using needles here. And furthermore, it goes on to explain why these individual points are important for the organs, because what you're doing is you are influencing effectively the segments that these little kidneys supply. So this segment is where the heart might develop, and then lung, and then liver, and then spleen, and so on. And this is the bladder channel of Chinese medicine.
There you go. So it's a little video just to explain why the bladder meridian doesn't work. Okay. Why your sound didn't work. I was looking at the yeah. So that's Dan Keown, who's done some workshop with us, and it just shows you how embryology is linked to the positioning of the bladder channel, which is quite amazing, because it's just amazing the correlation between embryology, and it goes for all the channels as well. We can explain all of the channel locations now by embryological development, which is kind of cool. There are gaps in the muscles where the facial planes meet, and those kind of gaps all connected up with the internal organs, which explains why we've got all the different channels everywhere. So I thought, as it's the last week of the bladder meridian, and the bladder meridian is all to do with the spine and connecting, we'll continue our exploration that we did last week which was basically tuning into the spine, finding out how our spine is, and then linking it with the channels and some of the internal work that we've done many times on the Wednesday class. So let's scan our spine again. I've got my chart here ready and my pen. So I'm going to do a scan with you. We'll do a nice slow scan down through the spine. Then I'll do a poll, find out which part of the spine you'd like to work on. And then we can then do internal exercises, meridian exercises to balance our spine out. So by the end of it, we should be completely aligned, connected to heaven and earth, and ready for the week ahead. Okay, so here we go. Let's do some scanning first of all. So we're going to just stand and spend a moment just tuning in. So I can get this so I can see, you can see me. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so yeah, let's do some scanning through the spine. So we're just first of all just standing, relaxing, and we're going to start off by just tuning into the whole cranium and then down into the cervical vertebrae. That's the neck here. That's from the base of your cranium down into the top of your back. We're just going to scan through that. Internally, you might want to close your eyes. And then we're going to go into the thoracic spine, and we're going to go into 3 different areas: the upper, middle, and the lower thoracic spine. So this is kind of like here, here, this is the middle, and then the lower. So we're just going to scan down through that area. And as you're scanning, just try and get an idea of the 3-dimensional feeling of your spine right through your body. So now into the middle thoracic, and then the lower thoracic. That's just at the end of our ribs here. That's just here, okay? And then we go into the lumbar spine. That's this bit here where there are no ribs, just the lumbar muscles here. Again, tuning and scanning in. And then finally down to the sacrum. Okay, so now here's another basic exercise we can do. We can do this, we've done this a lot, which is to bring the head top up and imagine the sacrum hanging down. So we've got a kind of like an extension of the spine, and that'll give you an idea of the whole of your spine. And if we then scan through our spine as we extend it upwards and downwards, you'll get an idea of if there's any particular areas that you want to work with on today's session. Okay, so let's just take a moment to draw our spines, and then I'm going to run which part of the spine pole do you want to work on, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so yeah, okay, so I'm going to draw my spine. Okay, the cervical vertebrae are these ones here on your neck, and then you've got the thoracic. We're dividing that into the upper, mid, which is kind of here, and lower thoracic. Okay, so that's kind of my drawing there, and I'm sure you've got your drawing ready to go. Okay, so now I'll run the poll and we'll see where we want to work. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to spend the next 50 minutes working with you to work on the spine, work on our spines by using the related channels and internal organ like exercises that we've done. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm going to, here we go, tuning into your spine. Where would you most likely like to work? Okay, we've got neck, upper thoracic, mid thoracic, lower thoracic, and then the lumbar and the sacrum I put together because I only had 5 options. So let's just see where we're at as a group. And then what I thought we'd do is, as the bladder channel runs down the body, I thought just for today, what we'll do is we'll work all the way down the bladder channel from the top. But don't worry, we will be doing kidney. We will be doing kidney 1 at the end. Just for those of you who tell me off if we miss it. I got some. Okay, so look what we've got. Look at this. We've got the lumbar and the sacrum way out ahead here at 29%, and that's quite often related to the kidney and the bladder meridians, interestingly enough. So that's the meridian of these last this month and next month. But also we've got like 50% neck and upper thoracic. Okay, really interesting there. We've got mid thoracic, 13%, and 8% for the lower thoracic. Okay, so I think what we should do now then is clear the bladder channel right from the top all the way down. We'll work it all the way down. I'll just point out some of the meridian connections as we go. And then hopefully when we get down to the end of the bladder channel, we can do kidney 1, bring the yin up through the body, and we'll be totally sorted for the week. Okay, here we go. So Jane, I need kidney 1 now, Jane says. Okay, that's fair enough. I tell you what, in that case, Jane, we will do that for you. Okay, we'll do kidney 1 first. We'll do the yin first. And then we'll work down the bladder meridian. Okay, and I'll just show you why. I'll just show you why we can do that and why Jane thinks that's so important. Okay, so let's just stand first of all. And what we're going to do is imagine the yang channels coming down through the body, connecting with the heavens all the way down. Okay, all the way down the back, down the sides of the body. They're the yang channels, and they kind of channel the energy from the head down the back. And then we have the yin energy coming up the front of the body like this, and that starts off at the feet, and of course the classic point is kidney 1. Okay, so why don't we do that, what Jane suggests, we'll do kidney 1 first, we'll nurture that yin first of all, we'll come back to it at the end and see how different it feels when we connect it up to the whole bladder channel. Good idea. Okay, so let's go. I'll get kidney 1 in action. We're actually next month. We're actually going to be doing the kidney channel, so we'll actually be doing kidney 1 as point of the week. Okay, so here we go. It's 1/3 of the distance down the midline of the foot, and what we're going to do is, as we do it, we're just going to open up the foot. And what should happen is we should get that grounding, that connecting with the earth, which will enable us then to release the spine from the top down, because we would have nurtured the yin. Okay, so here we go. Just going to open that up. Okay, just to remind you, the bladder channel runs all the way down here in the foot, and it runs down to the little toe. It comes all the way from here, all the way down to the little toe. So it's kind of the longest channel in the body. It's super long, and it's very important because, as Dan says in the video, each of the points on the back relate to all of the internal organs. So let's get that kidney 1 opened up. And then what we do is we'll shake out the yang channels, and then we'll work down all the way down the bladder meridian. And as we go, I can remind you of all the different points of the week that we got. And we're going to have to put 2 points of the week in today, just to finish up the ones we've got for the bladder channel. Okay, so there we go. That's 1 foot done. So let's do the other foot now. There we go, tap the kidney 1. And this will give us a nice solid connection with the earth. We can use that then to release the yang channel, particularly the bladder channel, as we go down. Okay, so let's just get this opened up. Activated. Okay, excellent. So here we go. Okay, let's experience the kidney 1 effect. And here we are, sure as we can rely on that to give us that feeling of connection down into the earth. And you notice how much more stable we feel, and that's why Jay said, I need it now, because that's a really good place to start before we start releasing the bladder channels. Okay, so here we go. Now let's start off working the whole spine. Okay, and we'll start off by working the head and neck, and we're going to just shake out the arms. Let's see if we can shake out some tension from the neck and the upper spine just using shaking, because this is where a lot of obstruction occurs, especially around T1 at the top here, thoracic 1, and into the neck. And a lot of that tends to happen in the yang channels. So the kind of action we want really is moving downwards, away from the neck, head and neck. We can do this internally by tuning into the neck and the upper back. This is another interesting technique, is to squeeze up as well, squeezing up into this T1 area and then releasing down like this. Okay? Okay, and that's a very good thing to combine with kidney 1, because kidney 1 is the root of the yin of the body, and this area here is called the meeting point of all the yang. So if we do this and release, okay, shaking, okay, and then we open up kidney 1 and get that yin feeling coming up through the body. That's a very good combination there. Releasing the yang. Okay, tuning internally and bringing the yin energy up through kidney 1, opening kidney 1 up. Keeping that feeling of grounding, focusing down into the earth, releasing. Squeezing up into T1 and releasing. Okay, let's just do it a couple more times, and then we'll just see how our neck feels in terms of the head floating up towards the heavens. Here we go. So breathing in, breathing out. Okay, very good. Let's just shake any tension that we felt releasing in the neck and the upper body. We're going to shake that out through the hands, down through the legs. Okay, and this is a really nice thing to do as well. It's just gently leaning forwards and throwing any tension that we've released here out down through the hands. Okay, so it's like this. Shake. And shaking. And shaking. And shaking. Okay? Very good. Okay, so that's good. We've released that collection of the yang channels around T1. And if you ever feel you get an obstruction there at the top of the thoracic lower neck, that's a really good technique. Get your kidney 1 connected to the earth and squeeze and release and then shake. Okay, so now it's time for our point of the week revision for the month. I'm just going to quickly put the slides up just to remind you. Here we go. We've got, this is where we're going to be going today, bladder 36. If we go back, we've got bladder 1, which is here. And we've got bladder 10, celestial pillar, which is on the neck. Okay, and those are the two that really are useful for releasing the sort of head and neck there. So what we can do is we can start off by let's just holding bladder 1. So I'm just literally putting my fingers I give you a close up, just here, right in the corner of the eye there. And while we're doing that, let's see if we can visualize the bladder channel all the way over the top of our head, down our back, down the backs of our legs, right down to our little toe there. So gently pressing in, very good for clearing the eyes and for headaches and things like that, okay? Very good. So now we're going to tap over the top of the head over the bladder channel. And until we get to the back here, we get to bladder 10, which is this point just to the outside of the top of the trapezius muscle. So if you go into the center of your spine and then you go out, again, I'll give you a close-up of how to find it. Okay, you find this little dip in here and then you go around the outside of this muscle, and it's just on the outside of the muscle. The most important thing is the direction is in towards the cervical spine. So once you've got the point, we just gently press in, and you'll find that will tend to open up the whole spine like that. Okay, so just gently press in a couple of times, breathing out. Imagine your head floating up. You can also do it with your fingertips like this, with your thumb, whichever's comfortable. And we're releasing this celestial pillar. This is the most important point for releasing the whole spine, letting the head float up towards the heavens. Always a good idea. It's always good to have your head connected to the heavens, your feet connected to the earth. Okay, so now let's work down from bladder 10, and we're going to release any tension in the neck. We're going to use the bladder channel, which runs directly down from bladder 10. We're going to go straight down. And lots of these points here connect into the throat. So if you find, you just relax the mouth and jaw. Relax the jaw, open up the throat. Nice deep breaths. And we're working down towards that T1 area here where we released when we did the squeezing and the throwing out. Yeah, so we're just going down towards there. Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's just review. Let's get that kidney one open, get that connected into the earth. Okay. Feel our head. Whoa, much better, right? Can you feel that bladder 10 there just humming away? It makes the whole head feel like it's floating there on top of the neck. And now if we scan down, we get back down into T1 again. Okay, so we've done quite a lot of squeezing and shaking and throwing out. So let's just see if we can do a little bit of tapping around there and see if we can work anything that's still there down the arms and into the hands and out. Okay, and so we can do this by just holding the elbow and tapping, or just if you can do it, just tapping like this. I'm just tapping around T1 and as far as I can down into the upper thoracic. Okay, and same thing the other side. Okay, now when we move down a little bit down from the T1, which is the meeting point of all the yang channels, we get to the lung area. So that upper thoracic area is related to the lungs. So we can release that via the lung channel. And so let's do some lung stretches and let's see if we can get that whole upper thoracic feeling really kind of freed up. Okay, head's floating already, the neck's feeling nice and released. T1 starting to really move. So let's see if we can energize the upper thoracic through this exercise. We're going to breathe in. Okay, thumb stretching out. Breathing in, breathing out, and stretching back. As we stretch back, you tip your head back slightly and extend the upper thoracic like this. That's it. You'll find that that will connect this stretch into the thumbs and into the upper thoracic. Okay, great. Let's do another one. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of tapping here. Let's concentrate on lung 1 and see if we can feel the connection between lung 1 and the upper thoracic. So I'm going to follow this out here. Nice easy breaths. I'm just going to tap down to the thumb and then round and up large intestine channel. Come back up here again. Okay, brushing off, and then okay, connecting lung 1 with the upper thoracic. And okay, really, really good. Okay, so now let's check in. Keep that kidney 1 open, nice and grounded. Okay. And now check out your head, nice and free from bladder 10, neck nice and relaxed, T1 really starting to open up as well. And now down into the upper thoracic, got a nice tingling feeling going from the upper thoracic down the channel, down the lung channel there. And that's opening the lung channel, connecting with the upper thoracic. Okay, let's keep going, right? So now we go down to the mid-thoracic. And I just want to go back to the poll because I've got a feeling that we've had quite a few people vote for the, so basically neck and upper thoracic were 50%. And then next up, we have the mid-thoracic. Now that area is usually related to the heart center. So it's quite often related to emotional factors. We can use the pericardium channel and the heart channel to open that area up. And I'll show you what I mean. Look, if we do this, breathe in, focusing in on the mid-thoracic, breathing in, breathing out. This stretch opens up the front of the body, but it also kind of squeezes and relaxes this mid-thoracic area here. So you're kind of stretching it out this way. Okay, just do that a few times. There we are, and that's the connection between the heart protector channel and the mid-thoracic. And we can just energize that by working the meridians in the arm, the channels in the arm. So we start off here in the chest. You notice this area here is roughly equivalent to around here, but on the front of the body, comes down and goes towards the middle of the inside of the arm and hand. So it goes to the mid-line there. And then we can come back up the triple-heated channel just to make a circuit up under the shoulder and then round again. And as we're doing that, we're focusing in on that mid-thoracic there to get that mid-thoracic area nice and relaxed and open. Okay, awesome. Okay, low. Just brushing off. Then from this side. How about that? Okay, check this out. Okay, now let's just check out the mid-thoracic. We're going to go in, breathe in and breathe out. Okay, feel that connection there. It's right through, opening up the mid-thoracic there using the heart protector channel. Very good. Okay, how are we doing? Well, we're halfway through the session and we've already gone halfway through the spine. So we're right on track here. So let's just, again, check in and see how we're doing, keeping that kidney 1 open, keeping it connected to the earth, relaxing our jaw and allowing that head to float up, feeling that bladder 10 celestial pillar nice and open, relaxing the throat, keeping that cervical vertebrae nice and free, floating the head up. Bit of a squeeze and a release around T1 just to keep that whole area really released. That's the gathering point of all the yang channels. Make sure that that's open. We've opened up the upper part of the thoracic using the lung channel, so that should feel nice and energized. And then we've opened up the mid spine there with the heart protector channel. Okay, cool. Right, so now we're down to the lower thoracic, which is, I think it wasn't that popular in the polls, but it's very important because that relates to the middle burner and it relates to the liver and the stomach. It's kind of all around this area here. Okay, that relates to the diaphragm and this middle heater. So we've got a couple of exercises we can do. We can use the channels, we can use the famous liver twisting exercise. So why don't we do that first of all? We'll make the most of the fact we've got kidney 1 connected to the earth, we've got the head floating up, we've got all this upper spine already nice and flexible. So we're going to extend that down into the mid-thoracic, and then into the lower thoracic by doing this twist. So we're focusing the twist on the lower thoracic and around this area here, the middle burner. Okay. Nice and easy. I'll keep my hips to the front here so that I can get a bit more of a twist in that area there. That's it. Excellent. Keep that head floating up, really releasing the middle burner there. That's it, and coming back to the front. Okay, great. So now what we can do is we can use the leg meridians, which connect up to the middle burner. See if we can get this area completely open and freed up. So we can use the stomach channel, okay, which runs down here, just tapping down here, down the outside of the legs, outside front of the legs. Don't forget stomach 36, just below the knee there. And then up the spleen channel, again related to the middle burner. Okay, and then we can go up around the ribs here. This is around the liver channel. Go down the gallbladder channel, outside of the legs. We do it all in one big circuit here. Nice and easy tapping up the inside liver channel. All very good for moving any obstruction in the middle burner. Very good. Okay, let's just do that another couple of times. Again, down nice and gently, just relaxing. Gallbladder right into the buttocks here. And down, gallbladder channel, liver. One more time, down the stomach, and then up, spleen, and then last time, this is the liver around here. Gallbladder, sides of the legs, and up, inside leg for the liver. Okay, there we are, and that's our middle burner workout using the channels. I'm just going to shake out those channels in the legs. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so now let's just check in again. We've got the head floating up. We've got the neck nice and released. We've got T1 nice and released. The arms feel nice and relaxed. Upper thoracic connected to the lungs, feels good. Mid-thoracic heart and heart protector channels or pericardium channels, really nice. And now we've got the lower thoracic, nice and free too. Okay, so that's brilliant. So now it's the final frontier. It's the lower burner connected to the lumbar and the sacrum. And this is, I think it was our most popular, just check the poll again. I think it was our single yeah, as a single most popular category, lumbar and sacrum, wasn't it, together as a group? And that's not surprising because that's where we often get tension and lumbar pain. It's often associated with either too much driving forwards with the adrenal system, or it's related to fatigue, long-term fatigue. Generally, what we want to do is we want to build up this area, and one of the best ways to do that is with self-shiatsu and with breathing techniques. And that's why we need the last few points of the week, which I'll just share with you right now, just to remind you. We've got bladder 23, which is right in the middle of the lumbar area. That's really important. It tonifies the yang and nourishes the yin, so it's an all-purpose point, and it's specifically used for lumbar pain. We've got bladder 36 just below the buttocks there, which activates the whole channel, and it's also used for pain in the sacrum and coccyx. So those two together, bladder 23 and bladder 36, are a really good combination. Okay, and we're going to work down to the feet and finish off with bladder 60 right behind here, behind the ankle. Okay, so it's lumbar time. Now, the really important thing with the lumbar spine is to strengthen the lower burner. So we're going to do that by bringing the breathing down into the lower dantian. We're going to rub our hands together. Place our hand just below the navel, opening up kidney 1, connecting with the earth, floating the head up, releasing all the way down the spine. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's just do a few low abdominal breaths. We're bringing the breath in, keeping the chest relaxed, bringing the breath in just below the navel, breathing in. Going to hold the breath, fill up whole lower burner right down into the pelvic floor and into the sacrum and the lower lumbar there with the qi from the breath. So imagine that qi coming in, holding it, and then breathing out. Just imagine that air comes out and the qi stays, the energy stays in the lower burner. And this is the main Qi Gong method for building up the strength in the lower burner there. Okay, so here we go again, breathing in, holding, slow exhalation, containing the qi. Breathing in, breathing out, holding, then breathing out, containing the qi in the lower burner. Okay, really good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work this whole lumbar sacrum area and connect it with the channels in the legs using bladder 36 and bladder 23. So bladder 23 is this one right in the middle of the lumbar vertebrae. It's really, really powerful point for energizing the lower back. So if you can do this okay and you don't have any problems in your shoulders, just loosely clench your fists, put the back of your fists over bladder 23 and then slowly rotate. And as we're rotating, we're opening up kidney 1, floating the head up, and we're still breathing down into the lower dantian. Okay, and just see if you can feel kind of warmth going into that point and extending up into the upper spine and then down into the sacrum and into the feet. So we're just going to open up this area by relaxing the whole of this sacral area and then relaxing the hips. There we go. Very good. Okay, keep that kidney 1 open, keep that yin energy coming up from the earth, as well as releasing as well as energizing the back, because what it does is it helps strengthen the inside and also strengthen the outside. So you've got the yin and yang there, the front and the back being nurtured. Okay, excellent. So there we are, got bladder 23 getting nice and warm and activated. So let's just tap now down the bladder channel, which runs down through the sacrum, And it comes down here to bladder 36. That's the point just at the back of the legs. You go up the back of the legs, right underneath the buttock there. And that's a really good point for sciatica and for lumbar pain and sacral pain as well. So we can tap right into there. And then we can go down the back of the legs, down the bladder channel, down the backs of the calves, all the way down to the little toe. And that's the end of the bladder channel. And as we do that, we pass bladder 60, and that's the point just behind the ankle bone. So if you tap down the back here, and then if you can, if you've got the flexibility to just gently press in to bladder 60, just behind the ankle. That's what I'm doing now. Pressing in here, pressing in behind the ankle. And as I'm doing that, I'm relaxing, opening up the whole spine, and just feeling that energy from that point. Often you'll feel it right into the sacrum and the lower back. It's another really good point for the lower back. Okay, and then you can squeeze down for the little toe, and then we're done. We've reached the end of the whole bladder channel. Well done. Okay, excellent. And so now let's just tap up the inside of the kidney channel, inside back of the legs, just to finish off the circuit, and then back here again. Okay, so again, energizing bladder 23 a little bit, just to activate it. So you feel it starting to get a bit warm, and tapping down through the sacrum, and then into bladder 36, it's right in here. Bladder 60, holding, relaxing, and then down to the little toe, and up the kidney channel, and we've completed the circuit again. We've got back up to the lower burner at the front. It's a really good little sequence that activates so many important points for the lumbar and the sacrum. So let's just do it one more time. We're going to energize bladder 23. That's it. And once you feel it really start to warm up, then you can extend that feeling. It's quite nice sometimes to rub like this as well, rub or tap onto the sacrum. And then down to bladder 36. As we're going down, we can relax the whole spine, try and get that whole bladder channel activated and connected as we go down. Bladder 60, I'm just going to hold that for a second, relaxing my spine again, nice and easy. And then squeezing down into the little toe. And there we go. Okay. Brilliant. Oh, wow, isn't that great? Isn't that great? I think we should just do that whole sequence one more time, just for those of you that voted for the lumbar and the sacrum, because it's such a powerful strengthening routine. And you notice that, just if you check in now, check into how you're feeling. Feel, open up kidney 1 again. And now if you feel the whole upper spine, you'll notice that it's kind of like strongly being held from underneath now, because basically this is kind of the root of the whole spine, and the kidney energy is basically really important, and kidney and bladder energy is really important for how you feel your spine comfortably upright. And I'm sure if you feel that energizing there around bladder 23, you'll feel that warmth extending up through the spine. Everything feels really kind of right, relaxed and kind of activated. So let's do that sequence one more time. Just going to activate bladder 23 again until we feel it starting to warm up. Okay, as soon as we start feeling it really starting to energize, we can rub or tap onto the sacrum. Bladder 36. Bladder 60. And then down to the toe. And then finally up the kidney channel. We're linking from kidney 1 here, up through the kidney channel, back up to the lower burner. And that's it, that's the sequence for strengthening the lumbar vertebrae, the lumbar spine, and the sacrum. Okay, cool. So now we've just got a little bit of time to put the whole thing together. So let's do some exercises specifically for opening up the whole spine. So we're going to use a little bit of some Qi Gong style exercises and also like a yoga stretch as well. Just to enjoy that feeling of the whole spine really starting to be energized. Okay, here's a really simple thing we can do. Again, very, very easy. We're going to just breathe in, bring our hands up and look up. Okay. And then as we lean back, we're just going to let that spine come upwards and backwards and really enjoy that feeling of the spine opening up this way. No straining at all, just nice and easy. Breathing in, breathing out, and just no straining, just going back, breathing out and extending upwards. And then breathing in again, reaching upwards. And then we imagine that we're in water and we're floating down, okay? So we're breathing out, we're floating down through water. And just tuning into how our spine feels as we release downwards. And then we can hang here, let the head hang down. We're going to release the whole upper spine, feel the feet nice and solid on the earth, and just really enjoying that feeling. And when we're ready, we take another deep breath in and we let that breath unfurl us up. And breathe out, lifting the head upwards, opening up the spine as we stretch up and back. No effort, really easy. Breathing in. Okay, now floating down like water, floating through that water. As we float down, we're letting go of any tension in the spine, just allowing the body naturally just open up. There we go. One more time. Breathe in. Stretching up. And then again, the head floats up, extending the spine, relaxing backwards. And upwards. So we're going backwards and upwards. And then breathing in, stretching up, and breathing out, slowly floating down again through the water. Okay, and then we're in a really good position here to go into crawl position. We can go straight into the yoga cow-cat exercise. Okay, a similar kind of movement here with the breath. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, breathe out, and let the belly go down. As we do this though, we're allowing the head to go this way and the sacrum to go that way. So we're out, extending the spine very, very gently as we breathe out. Let the breath take the movement. And just explore anywhere in the spine that you just need to release a little bit more. And then breathing in again, we're coming back to the midpoint again. Okay, and let the breath lead you in the other direction. So breathing out, gently stretching, no forcing or anything, just letting it just open up. And then breathing in, coming back to center again. Okay, and then we're going to breathe out again, go this way again. And this is a chance for us just to focus in on any areas that we still want to work on. Getting that spine completely flexible and open. Breathing in and breathing out. Yeah, and then back again, breathing in and then breathing out again. Breathing in one more time and letting the breath stretch us up, stretching the back up, relaxing, releasing. And then back into the center again. Okay, brilliant. So just time to check in one last time. That's it, we've just got some time to do some breathing and really enjoy the feeling of the spine being released. So here we go, checking in again. Opening up kidney 1 to get that yin energy from the earth, supporting us and calming us down. We've got the head floating up. And just to remind us, we've got bladder 10 nice and open. The cervical spine nice and released. We've got the upper, we've got the T1, the meeting point of the yang channels, squeezed and released now. Squeezed and released. We've got the upper thoracic opened up by the lungs. We've got the mid-thoracic opened up and energized by the pericardium and the heart channels. We've got the lower thoracic connected to the middle burner, which we released with this and with the going on the legs, if you remember. And then we've got the lumbar and the sacrum combined by the yin energy coming up from the kidney into the lower burner and the lower abdominal breathing. And we've got energizing bladder 23, bladder 36, and then all the way down the channels, okay? And that's what's given us this amazing feeling of being grounded, the head free, and the whole spine just opening up like a string of pearls there. Okay, so that's your bladder meridian spinal nervous system workout session, which you can use anytime if you're just feeling a little bit overactive or tired. It works both ways to balance out the autonomic nervous system and to free up all the connections in the spine with the internal organs. So it's like a really important, really useful overall routine, connecting the meridians with the spine itself and connecting the channels. Okay, so let's finish off with doing some Tai Chi, this Tai Chi movement. And we're going to do it different ways, connecting with the heavens and earth, and then we'll put it all together just finally at the end, connect up heaven and earth through the central channel. Okay, so feet shoulder width apart. Okay, you've got your feet parallel or slightly turned in, knees softened, tucking the hips in slightly so that this part of the sacrum is slightly tucked in. That helps to straighten up the whole spine. Head top floating up towards the ceiling, shoulders relaxed. Okay, very good. Are you ready? So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect with the earth. We're going to open up kidney 1. We're going to feel heavy in our body. We're going to breathe in and we're going to sink down into the earth, thinking as far down as we can. And then we're going to push up from the feet, breathing out. Okay, so this connects us with the yin, connects us with the solid aspects of the body, the calming aspects of the body. Breathing in, pushing up from the earth. Breathing in, breathing out, pushing up from the earth. Nice and gentle, but the emphasis is on the solidity of the body, the heaviness of the body, and connecting with the earth. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, very good. So now we're going to concentrate on the yang aspects. We take the top of the head, we feel the lightness in the body, and we imagine we're floating down from the heavens by our thread, and that we're floating up from the top of the head. This is just to get that sensation of the yang energy, the lighter moving energy connected with the heavens. Okay, so we're keeping that open, breathing in. Lightly float up. Breathing in again. Breathing out. Float up. One more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Okay, so now we're going to combine yin and yang. We're going to feel heavy, sinking down into the earth. Feel the connection deep into the earth. Switch the head top, float up. Feel the connections with the heavens. Open up kidney 1. Sink down into the earth. Think heavy and calm. Breathing in. And then switch to the head top. Think light and active. Floating up. So it's earth, heavens connection. Earth's connection, heaven's connection. Earth's connection, heaven's connection. Okay, and then just standing down your spine again. And if you remember how you felt just 1 hour ago when we did the scan, remember what it was like right in the beginning, and now just comparing that, how you feel now, scanning down from the cranium, down through the neck, through T1, upper thoracic, middle thoracic, lower thoracic, and then the lumbar, sacrum, and then all the way down to our feet. Okay, there we are. Finishing off the bladder meridian with an epic journey down the bladder channel and working on the spine. There we go. Okay, let's have a look. We've got a question here. Let's have a look. I haven't seen any questions marked up. Let's have a look. Oh, you want another look at the slides? Okay, here we go. There we go. I'll have a look at the slides. Share materials. Okay, so we've got, here we go. Just to revise, we've got 1 minute left. Just have a look at all these points of the week that we've done. We've got bladder 1, which is right here between the eyes. Bladder 10, which is at the top of the neck there. Bladder 23, that's the one we activated to tonify the lumbar area, if you remember. And bladder 36, that's right at the top of the leg, right underneath the buttock there. Really useful, use that all the time in Shiatsu for lower back pain, sciatica, and sacral pain and stuff, coccyx pain. Okay, and then finally bladder 60, Qi Mountains. It's called the Qi Mountains because it's mystic in Chinese sort of folklore. It's the mystical source of the river, and I've just got that. Got this picture here. Look, the Qi Mountains is the longest chain of mountains in Asia. They're 3,000 miles long, and there's lots of myths and legends about how powerful the sources of the rivers are. And the idea is that this bladder 60 is right at the source of the bladder channel, kind of thing, that's why it's got such a powerful effect on the whole body, and particularly the lower back. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Okay, thank you very much. Great, have a fantastic week. And I can't believe that we're all going to be right on to the, I think I'm right in saying it's going to be the Yeah, it's going to be August next Wednesday, believe it or not, which means we'll be onto the kidney meridian. Whoa, okay, look forward to that there for everyone. I really look forward to that. We're getting around our epic cycle of the meridians. Okay, yeah, kidney meridian next week. Okay, see you next week. Just put a heart in the chat there. Okay, thanks a lot for tuning in. Tell all your friends, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, Kat, for looking after the chat there. Here we are, end the session.